Good afternoon. My name is Sam Wender, publisher of Westchester Magazine. Welcome to the 8th Annual Healthcare Heroes Award recognition. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping pointers. Welcome to our virtual event platform, Hop In. Hopefully you joined us without any trouble and you found it easy to navigate. We would like to encourage everyone to visit our sponsor booths by clicking the Expo button on the left side of your screen. Please also visit the virtual gift bag at each sponsor's booth and also at our website, westchestermagazine.com/healthcare heroes. Lastly, feel free to use the chat feature throughout the event on the right side of your screen. Congratulations to this year's honorees. To say it was a challenge this year to recognize only 14 honorees is beyond an understatement. When we first started this program 8 years ago, our intent was to honor the unsung heroes in the healthcare industry that went above and beyond in their respective profession to serve those in need. This past year, unlike any in our lifetime, we salute and honor all of the healthcare workers and thank them for their tireless effort in helping us through this pandemic. They all deserve an award. We are thankful for all the nominations we received this year and are extremely grateful for our esteemed panel of judges in helping us select this year's honorees. Congratulations and thank you to all of them. It is now my pleasure to play a message from our County Executive, George Latimer.
Hi, I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive, and I'm here to join Westchester Magazine in recognizing all of our healthcare heroes who've done such a fabulous job for us throughout the course of the year 2020 and now into 2021. We have been tested with this pandemic, and no industry has been tested more than the healthcare industry, which has caused all of us to really understand just what it takes to fight a pandemic. And the individuals that are being honored today as healthcare heroes deserve that designation for all the good work they've done. Today we'll be recognizing Dr. Tracy Gardner, Dr. Renee Garrick, Rita Mabley. We'll be recognizing Dr. Sheila Nolan, Diane Pagan, Dr. Amir Rabadi, Renee Recchia, who's the first Deputy Commissioner of the County Department of Health, Walter Rowland, Dr. Don Starr, Lori Ann Walsh, Adam Weissman, and Dr. Darrell Wheeler. And in addition, the 2021 Healthcare Heroes Editors Award for Outstanding Community Service will go to Lori Fulham, who's a registered nurse, and the Healthcare Heroes Institutional Award to the 3 individuals that sponsored the Million Gallons Challenge, Eric Korn, Louis Lanza, and John Van Decker. All of these individuals and many more deserve all of the recognition and the appreciation that we can render to them. And we want to thank Westchester Magazine for spotlighting these heroes. We hope we have a wonderful celebration. We hope we can do this in person a year from now.
Thank you, George, and thank you for all you are doing to keep our county safe during this pandemic. I would like to take a second to thank our sponsors this afternoon, and they include our platinum sponsor, United Hebrew. And now a brief message from United Hebrew.
At United Hebrew, we've got it all: independent senior housing, memory care, assisted living, nursing care, and rehab to get you on the road to recovery.
My wife and I looked at over a dozen places. This is the best one. It's head and shoulders above any other place we saw.
I personally want to come to visit my mom. It was the best decision that I ever made.
Come see us. Here's to life.
Gold sponsor, New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. And thank you to our silver sponsors, Boston Children's Health Physicians and White Plains Hospital. Thank you to our bronze sponsor, WestMed Medical Group. It is now my pleasure to introduce our executive editor, Nick Brandy.
Thank you, Sam, and hello, everyone. I'm delighted we can all be together again for the 8th Annual Healthcare Heroes event. I'm Nick Brandy, Senior Editor of Westchester Magazine and the host and organizer of the Healthcare Heroes competition for the past 3 years. In that time, I've come to regard Healthcare Heroes as a privilege that eclipses all other aspects of my job at the magazine. Not just because of the swell of pride that comes with being able to celebrate some of our county's most laudable and self-sacrificing citizens, but also for the commitment required to successfully execute this event every year. For me, I guess you could say only a guest hosting gig on Jeopardy could match the honor of hosting Healthcare Heroes. By the way, you crushed it, Aaron Rodgers. Anyway, did you know, for example, that each Healthcare Heroes competition begins in late September and concludes with this wonderful event in May? That means I spend about 8 months a year shepherding, nurturing, and servicing an event It has become more like a child to me than a responsibility. My only regret is that for the second of my 3 years, I am forced to only imagine your brilliant faces rather than behold them in 3 dimensions, which is one of my absolute favorite aspects of this annual undertaking. If the pandemic has taught me anything, it's that there really is no substitute for in-person contact. Speaking of the viral elephant in the room, I'm confident you all agree that we find ourselves this year with reinforced hope, heightened confidence, and buoyed spirits compared with this time last year. Sure, there have been some stumbling blocks along the way, but I think we can agree that we are healing as a community. Restrictions are loosening, businesses are reopening, and more than 500,000 Westchesterites have been vaccinated. But before we revel in the good news, please let's take a moment to silently acknowledge all of those who lost a loved one due to COVID-19. Thank you. Let me make it clear right up front that while the pandemic definitely factored heavily into this year's crop of nominees and ultimately the winners, the 2021 Healthcare Heroes are not limited to those who demonstrated their surpassing value during the coronavirus. We are all also assembled today to honor those who have been our stalwarts, people who have undauntedly continued to love, heal, and care for our citizens not because of the pandemic, but despite it. The result is a distinguished pastiche of honorees who personify not only what we are capable of as a community when the heat is on, but also embody the bedrock of excellence and commitment that has come to define the community itself and undergird the quality of life we have come to accept as synonymous with Westchester County. Healthcare Heroes nominations typically come rolling in as of October and are submitted by colleagues, patients and their families, supervisors, employees, spouses, and other loved ones. One nominee this year, for example, made it into the winner's circle following an especially poignant nomination from his teenage son. Of key importance is that the competition is by no means medical professionals only. Instead, it includes first responders, administrators, corporate executives, nonprofit leaders, public servants, and basically any individual who has had a discernible positive impact on health and wellness in the county, even if we're only for a single day. Once the nomination period ends, usually sometime in January, all nominations are vetted for merit and substance, after which our panel of judges receives the 40 to 50 most compelling entries, redacted to conceal the nominees' identities and the institutions with which they are affiliated. Each judge then submits his or her 10 top-tier nominees, along with a handful of alternates. Points are awarded for each status, and those with the highest point totals become the winners for that year. As a final note, I'd like to make you aware of some exciting developments in the Healthcare Heroes event, which come in the form of 2 new awards. One is our first ever Healthcare Heroes Award for Outstanding Community Service, and the other is our inaugural Healthcare Heroes Institutional Award for Excellence, which is presented to an organization rather than to an individual. These commendations are unlikely to be bestowed annually, but rather as special actions and circumstances merit them, and if there were ever a time of special circumstances, well, this past year would be the poster child. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge and thank our esteemed panel of judges, some of whom have been with us since the debut of Healthcare Heroes. They are Dr. Robert Amler, Vice President for Government Affairs at New York Medical College and Dean of the School of Health Sciences and Practice and Institute of Public Health. Dr. Shirlita Amler, Westchester County Commissioner of Health. Dr. Kathy Riley Fallon, Foot and Ankle Surgeon, Midtown Manhattan Health Center, founder and chairwoman, Heavenly Productions Foundation. Mary Godomsky, Executive Director, Montefiore Home Care. Mary Spengler, Chief Executive Officer, Hospice of Westchester. And last but not least, our newest judge, Dr. Jessica Zwerling, whose curriculum vitae I fear will be a curriculum mortis for me, as I may not live long enough to finish it, but here goes. She is the director of the Montefiore Hudson Valley Center of Excellence for Alzheimer's Disease and an associate professor of neurology. She is program director for the United Council of Neurologic Subspecialties Geriatric Neurology Fellowship and director of the Memory Disorder Centers at Blondell Avenue at Montefiore. She is also associate director at the Center for the Aging Brain and the clinical director of the Einstein Aging Study. Believe it or not, there's even more to say about Dr. Zwerling, but Al Gore called to tell me that too much lip flapping on my part is likely to accelerate climate change. So in the interest of planetary hygiene, let's just get to this year's winners, each of whom will receive an award box in the mail. Attendees, please use your chat feature to congratulate the winners directly. Our first Healthcare Heroes Award goes to Dr. Tracy Gardner, Medical Director and Chief Medical Officer of the Children's Village. Presenting the award to Dr. Gardner is Jeremy Christopher Cahoban, PhD, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Children's Village.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jeremy Kahumban, the President and CEO at the Children's Village. And I'm here today to speak about Dr. Tracy Gardner, our Chief Medical Officer, the person that we depended on most in these last 15 months. Dr. Gardner has been part of our team for a long time. She's trusted, she's boots on the ground, and when COVID hit, she was the person that we needed, and she was there for us every day. Early during the pandemic, when we did not know what would happen next, Dr. Gardner was right with us, with our young people, with our staff, leading us, guiding us, helping us find solutions, homemade remedies for sanitizer and cleaning, staying in compliance with CDC guidelines and guidance as that came through, and then eventually preparing us for the vaccine, answering questions, addressing issues of vaccine uncertainty, and being there for every one of us all across New York. What a privilege and what an honor. I am so glad that she is one of our heroes, and she should be your hero too. I'm proud to present Dr. Gardner with this amazing honor, Westchester Magazine's Healthcare Hero, and she's always a hero to us.
First, I'd like to thank Dr. Jeremy Kahumban, the CEO of Children's Village, for nominating me for this honor, and I'd also like to thank Westchester Magazine for selecting me. But I don't do this work alone. I want to thank all my team at Children's Village, the medical team, my family, and the community that supports me for all the work that I do in regards to children and families in the Westchester community. So once again, I'm forever grateful for allowing this opportunity to shed some light onto the child welfare community and all those that work within it. Thank you very much.
Our next award goes to Dr. Renee Garrick, Executive Vice President and Chief Medical Officer of the Westchester Medical Center Health Network and Professor of Clinical Medicine and Vice Dean at New York Medical College. To present the award to Dr. Garrick is Dr. Michael Gowitz, Senior Vice President of Clinical Operations at Westchester Medical Center and the William Russell McCurdy Physician-in-Chief of Maria Ferrari Children's Hospital.
Hello. It is a real honor for me to have nominated Dr. Renee Garrick as a 2021 Westchester Healthcare Hero. For over 30 years, patients and their physicians, not only from the WMC health system, but from all over Westchester and the Hudson Valley, have come to rely upon Dr. Garrick's knowledge, insight, and experience, not only as an outstanding nephrologist, but also as an invaluable resource for helping us all make our way through a complex medical system, whatever the particular need or question at hand, and whatever day of the week or hour of the day. This has been especially true for the most disadvantaged among us. At no time have her outstanding skills and deeply felt compassion been more evident than during the COVID-19 pandemic. From the outset of COVID-19 in our region, Dr. Garrick has been out front on behalf of patients and professionals as a healer, as an advocate, and as a resource regarding how both patients and professionals navigate through a complex array of testing and treatment possibilities. In very difficult times, we all rely upon the heroes around us to help us make it through. And Renee Garrick is certainly one of those very special few, a true healthcare hero.
Thank you very much. This is certainly a wonderful honor. And the reality is that you could have put all the names in a hat from everyone at Westchester Medical Center and pulled out a name, and every single person there was a Westchester healthcare hero. There's never been a hospital that pulled together more efficiently and more effectively than Westchester Medical Center. 24 hours a day, we did everything we could to help the patients that we serve and our community. We are all deeply grateful for this award and for being able to help the patients we serve.
Our next award goes to Rita Mabley, President and CEO of United Hebrew of New Rochelle. Presenting the award to Ms. Mabley is Rosemary McLaughlin, Senior Vice President of Signature Bank and Chair of United Hebrew's Board of Directors.
I grew up down the street from United Hebrew of New Rochelle. I always felt United Hebrew was a good neighbor and one of the most respected community institutions in Westchester. A lot of that is because of Rita Mabley. Every day, Rita inspires over 800 staff members to be outstanding in their caregiving. And just as important, she inspires them to be compassionate and joyful. Kindness permeates everything she does. That's the culture there. They treat you like family. This past year, with the COVID pandemic sending everyone everywhere into a tailspin, Rita stepped up. It was the most difficult of circumstances for sure. With no playbook in hand, she went above and beyond to guide us through the crisis. She set the strictest standards for health and safety, ensured her staff was well trained and supported, and above all, she did everything in her power to ensure the health and well-being of the vulnerable seniors in her care. It's not every CEO who rises early to greet the 5 a.m. shift, yet Rita made this a habit throughout the pandemic. She wanted to thank her staff for being there, for putting their own lives at risk to care for their residents, and they would tell her, "My residents need me." Rita inspires people to think of their work, not just as a job, but a vocation. Rita's culture of care, compassion, and joy infuses the entire United campus, especially the lives of our beloved residents. She has been a trailblazer in the world of elder care and has managed to accomplish so much with grace, compassion, and a positive outlook. Rita, congratulations. You're an inspirational leader, a treasured friend, and a true healthcare hero.
Hi, I'm Rita Mabley, and I'd like to thank those people that nominated me. I'd also like to thank the judges and send out my congratulations to my fellow honorees. I am thrilled to have been selected as a healthcare hero, especially during this year of the pandemic. But I would like to proudly share this award with the tireless, brave, and caring staff on the campus of United Hebrew of New Rochelle. They are truly each healthcare heroes. Thank you.
Our next healthcare hero is Dr. Sheila Nolan, Chief of Pediatric Infectious Diseases at Boston Children's Health Physicians and Maria Ferrari Children's Hospital. To present the award to Dr. Nolan is Gerard Vellucci, CEO of Boston Children's Health Physicians.
Hello, my name is Gerard Vellucci, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Boston Children's Health Physicians. It is a privilege to congratulate our very own Dr. Sheila Nolan for being named a Westchester Magazine Healthcare Hero. As our Chief of Pediatric Infectious Disease, Dr. Sheila Nolan has always been an integral part of the Boston Children's Health Physicians family. But from the very first days of the COVID-19 crisis, Dr. Nolan has shown what it truly means to be a healthcare hero. Our very own Dr. Fauci, Sheila has led our entire network of nearly 300 clinicians in over 60 locations through this pandemic with skill, grace, and dedication. She does so all while continuing to care for both inpatients and outpatients, including the most critically ill children who rely on her infectious disease, care, and expertise. She has repeatedly gowned up and entered a patient care room with the virus present, and she continues to be at the forefront of the MIS-C diagnosis and treatment in children. Without hesitation, Dr. Nolan has served as both a frontline caregiver and as a leader for BCHP and the community as a whole. 2020 was a challenging year for the healthcare industry, and Dr. Nolan was available to our staff and our community around the clock to help them make infection control decisions and navigate the pandemic. In recognition of her outstanding achievements and contributions, Dr. Nolan has also been named epidemiologist at the Maria Ferrari Children's Hospital at Westchester Medical Center. She's truly a special individual, is the epitome of a healthcare hero. On behalf of the entire BCHP family, it is my pleasure to congratulate Dr. Nolan on this award. Congratulations, Sheila. And on behalf of everyone at BCHP, thank you.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank Westchester Magazine for recognizing the healthcare heroes in our community every year and hosting this lovely ceremony. I would also like to give my very heartfelt thanks to my colleagues at Boston Children's Health Physicians who nominated me for this award. and to the selection committee who chose me to receive this honor. It is always a wonderful feeling to be recognized by your peers, but this year, with the tremendous challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, it is especially gratifying to be chosen. I'm glad to accept this award, but I must acknowledge that our ability to continue our mission and dedication to children's health throughout this pandemic has absolutely been a team effort. I have the privilege of working with extraordinary people, both at Boston Children's Health Physicians and at Maria Ferrari Children's Hospital. Being dubbed an expert for a brand new virus that no one could have expertise in was very daunting, but it gave me the opportunity to get to know so many of my colleagues better. I was glad to be able to support so many dedicated practitioners who are determined to continue their mission to keep our children safe and well, despite the risks to their own safety. I'm grateful to work with such strong, caring, and collaborative teams. Thank you for this lovely honor, and congratulations to all the heroes selected this year.
Our next winner is Diane Pagan, Director of the Complex Care Program at WestMed Medical Group. Presenting the award to Ms. Pagan is Dr. Sandra Kesh, Deputy Medical Director of WestMed Medical Group.
I was so thrilled to hear that Diane Pagan, the Director of our Complex Care Program at WestMed Medical Group, won one of Westchester Magazine's Healthcare Hero Awards for 2021. Diane has been a wonderful addition to our group since she joined us a couple years ago. She leads a program that actually works with our sickest patients and their families to help prevent hospitalization, and is often going into patients' homes. This is something she did even a year ago at the start of the COVID pandemic, at a time when most people were afraid of seeing patients and we were all wearing our PPE and really didn't know what was going to happen. Diane stood up, got right into some of our sickest patients' homes and delivered care and prevented hospitalizations. She's truly an asset to our organization. Congratulations, Diane. This is very well deserved. We are very lucky to have you at WestMed, and I know that this is one of many awards and recognitions you'll receive in the future.
My name is Diane Pagan. I'm the Director of Complex Care at WestMed Group. I've been a nurse practitioner for 23 years. I'd like to thank Dr. Sandra Kesh, our Deputy Medical Director, for this nomination. Her gentle guidance and unwavering support have been key contributing factors toward my success at the group. However, WestMed Group as a whole deserves my gratitude because they encourage all of their employees to strive for great things. And this positivity starts from the top with our CEO, Anthony Viceroy, and our Chief Operating Officer, Karen Dolman.
Our next winner is Board Certified Physician in this year's only unanimous judges selection, Dr. Amir Rabadi, Chief Physician for the Yonkers Central School District. Presenting the award to Dr. Rabadi is Edwin M. Quesada, EDD, Superintendent of Yonkers Public Schools.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Edwin Quesada, and I am the proud Superintendent of the Yonkers Public Schools. And it is for me an honor and a privilege to celebrate the accomplishments of Dr. Amir Rabadi. Dr. Rabadi is one of Westchester County 2021 Healthcare Hero. Dr. Rabadi is not only a colleague, but he is a friend. He's an incredible individual, supportive not only of our school district, but the entire community and all of his patients. He is Yonkers. Dr. Rabadi is committed to his work. A medical doctor in a school district had a very difficult time opening school this year. There were so many systems and protocols that needed to be put in place. Dr. Rabadi has done this in a very effective manner. He has gone out of his way to ensure that our students, our staff, our administrators are safe in school and that they understand how it is that each and every one of us can contribute to eradicating this pandemic. Dr. Rabadi is a friend, and we are honored to know that he's being celebrated today. Thank you, and may Dr. Rabadi's work continue to be supportive of our entire Westchester County.
Hello, my name is Amir Rabadi. I'm the Chief Medical Physician for the Yonkers School District. I'm also a board-certified family practitioner in Yonkers, New York. I'd like to thank you all for honoring me and recognizing me as Hero of 2020. But this award can go to so many people, from the nurses, nurse practitioners, physicians, and all the healthcare providers that have risked their lives in the past year to help protect our community, and I thank you all. And to my hero, my wife, as she continues the battle against lymphoma, stay strong, stay focused, we're here with you, and in a few months this will all be over. We love you, and thank you for always being there for us.
Our next healthcare hero is Renee Recchia, First Deputy Commissioner of Health for Westchester County. Presenting the award to Ms. Recchia, Dr. Shirlita Amler, Westchester County Commissioner of Health.
Hello, I'm Dr. Shirlita Amler, Commissioner of Health for Westchester County. We generally think of physicians or nurses when we think of our healthcare heroes, but we should never forget about the administrative officers who make sure that we have the right tools to care for those in need. We all know that having the right stuff in the right place at the right time can literally make the right things happen and even help save lives. Renee Recchia is a real Westchester healthcare hero. As my first Deputy Commissioner of Health in the Westchester County Department of Health, she helps focus all our daily tasks on our public health mission and the public we serve. During the past 16 months that we have been dealing with the COVID pandemic, Renee has worked relentlessly to ensure that our department has the needed staffing, equipment, and other resources. Of course, the needs have morphed as the virus kept spreading. Contact tracing and reliable testing became available, and vaccine supplies came online. In particular, Renee's efforts enabled us to complete timely interviewing of COVID-positive residents, thereby identifying their close contacts and placing them in quarantine when indicated. These public health actions prevented many new infections and slowed the ongoing spread of COVID in our community. She has worked around the clock to ensure that the health department has adequate staff, community resources, and vaccines in order to provide COVID vaccines at our 134 Court Street location, the Westchester Community College vaccine location, and even the homes of homebound residents. Throughout this crisis, Renee and her staff have closely monitored our daily COVID statistics and reported them in clear presentations so we can measure progress along the way and modify our public health actions when suggested by the data. Please join me in congratulating Renee as one of this year's healthcare heroes, a well-deserved recognition.
Hello, I'm Renee Recchia, First Deputy Commissioner with the Westchester County Department of Health. I'd first like to thank Heather Wilson for nominating me. I'd also like to thank Westchester Magazine for bestowing this honor upon me. This year has been an incredible year for all healthcare professionals, especially those in public health. I would like to acknowledge all of my colleagues at the Westchester County Health Department, as well as all the public health officials across the country. I also would like to thank my family, who has been very supportive of me during this past year and has really endured me being away working long hours trying to fight this epidemic.
Our next distinguished recipient is Walter Rowland, Physician's Assistant at Urgent Care of New York. Presenting the award to Mr. Rowland is his brother, John Rowland.
Hello, I'm John Rowland, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to one of Westchester County's healthcare heroes of 2021, my brother, Walter Rowland. Walter is a physician's assistant at Urgent Care of New York and has been on the front lines of providing emergency medical care for the past 17 years. This past year has been a trying time for all of our healthcare professionals and has tested their inner strengths and dedication beyond anyone's expectation. Walter not only provided the best medical care available, but was also a calming voice to his family and the hundreds of patients he treated in the often ever-changing environment dealing with the COVID pandemic. Walter started his medical career in the United States Navy when he enlisted in 1977. He was assigned to the Medical Corpsman School, and during his enlistment, there were various assignments, including sea duty aboard the USS Saipan and assignment to the United States Marine Corps at Camp Lejeune. When Walter's enlistment was over, he returned home and joined the City of Mount Vernon Police Department, serving in units including the Street Crime Unit, Motorcycle Unit, and the Detective Division. Promoted to the rank of Detective Sergeant, Walter led the Special Investigations Squad. He developed a reputation for being a tenacious, dedicated, relentless investigator. As good as he was in law enforcement, we all knew how equally, if not better, he was in the field of medicine. So it was of no surprise that when he announced his retirement from law enforcement, he also announced his acceptance into the Physician's Assistant Program at Albany Medical School. I'd like to share a few words from a colleague of Walter's, and I quote, "Walter is a person that has made several careers out of serving others. Throughout the last year, most of his patients have been COVID-related, and he has fought to test and treat as quickly as possible without regard for the sacrifice he was making. Walter, as well as most healthcare workers, have had an overwhelming year, and still the end is not yet here. What makes Walter so special is that he never gives up. He continues to work beyond the point of exhaustion and continues to work in fields that are based on helping others. I would think after a career as a police officer, a person would want a job that is not as demanding. Not Walter. He chose to take on a similar demanding career in medicine. He has truly made a difference in the lives of the thousands of patients over the last year." End quote. We are all very proud of Walter and wish him continued success and great accomplishments. We offer our congratulations to all the healthcare heroes of 2021 and thank you for your service and dedication. Best wishes in the future. Thank you.
My name is Walter Rowland. I'm a PA at the Urgent Care of New York. I'd first like to thank my wife, who for 20 years put up with my crazy schedule, for me only to move on to a second career and go through another crazy schedule. I'd like to thank my staff at the Urgent Care, who have tirelessly worked through this pandemic and don't get enough credit that they also deserve. And I'd like to thank all the people who nominated and voted for me. Thank you all.
Our next winner is Dr. Don Starr, pediatric anesthesiologist at White Plains Hospital Center. Here to present the Healthcare Hero Award to Dr. Starr is his son, Josh Starr.
Today, I am speaking about my dad, Dr. Don Starr, who is a pediatric and adult anesthesiologist for White Plains Hospital. And as he so frequently reminds me, he is one of the oldest guys still working the night shift. In addition to his long work hours, he is involved in many different activities and groups, such as he is an instructor for Stop the Bleed, a medical advisor to a local dance school on COVID-19 procedures, serves on the White Plains Hospital Medical Board, and leads safety initiatives in the Department of Anesthesia. If that weren't enough, every week since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, he has taken over grocery and errand shopping, and even cooking homemade meals for a few senior couples. He is always looking for opportunities to help others. To him, helping others is the ultimate satisfaction. Taking my senior year of college from home due to the pandemic has opened my eyes more than ever about how much my father actually does outside of work. For example, he regularly calls and checks up on his patients during his off time at home. On a very regular basis, I will find him on the phone with a patient making sure they are okay in the evening and on weekends. He tells me it helps him sleep better. It really surprises me how much he can still do. He's always up to something. For example, at the time of writing this, my dad had a week of late nights at work and we had a tree fall in our backyard. Bright and early Saturday morning, he was outside with a chainsaw and axe cutting up the tree for our neighbor who wanted firewood. I joined him when I woke up, however most of the work was finished by 10 a.m. This just shows his work ethic and lead by example mentality. For an old guy, he's still got some pep in his step. I'm convinced it's because he still drinks juice boxes like a kindergartner, except he clearly enjoys them more. There's almost nothing he cannot do and will not do, except figure out how to use the computer. That is my job. His can-do attitude helps him figure out things for himself without the help of Google. Between you and me, that's because I don't think he knows how to navigate Google. My dad probably thinks I do not pay attention or take interest in what he does when I see him. That is why I think he was a little bit surprised that I nominated him for this award, but I have been watching him for many years. I think it is great that he is a part of a select group of individuals hand-chosen for this award each year. Let me finish off by saying that not all heroes wear capes. Some wear scrubs and a very old pair of Levi's when not at work. I would like to congratulate all the other healthcare heroes that were selected this year, and congrats, Dad.
When I received the email notifying me that I was the recipient of a Westchester Healthcare Hero Award, two thoughts came to mind. First was, wow. And the second was, wow. The first wow was because I don't consider myself a hero. The second wow was because the email also stated that my son Josh had nominated me and written a convincing description of my activities. Truth be had, Josh subsequently showed me the submission, and I saw snippets that implied he had input from his younger sister and brother. Again, wow, or to give it a little bit more emphasis, yowzers. Throughout my career, it's very safe to say I've never been the smartest or the most talented, but it is safe to say that I'm one of the hardest workers who treats everyone at work and everywhere else the way I'd want to be treated myself. My mother instilled in me at a young age that I could do anything and everything if I applied myself and worked hard. My father complimented that by saying, just do the right thing, and if you spent as much time completing the task as you did procrastinating, you'd be done by now. So there you have it, and here I am. I only wish that I could have spoken in real time. That would have afforded me the luxury for a formal rebuttal to Josh's comments. However, I know Josh pretty well, and it's safe to say he found a way to poke fun at me, or tried to embarrass me, at least about my work lunch. Peanut butter sandwich, creamy, no jelly, on whole wheat bread, a juice box, and a seasonal piece of fruit. Josh should have known by now that I'm deeply proud of my lunch, and I enjoy it immensely, childish as it might be. But seriously, do you think I could get upset about something like that? Josh did in fact nominate me for this award, and I'm a combination of ecstatic, humbled, surprised, and proud, more so of him than I am of myself, even if he did make my picture profile the Tasmanian devil on my work chat app. At least now I know that he meant the Tasmanian devil with purpose. In closing, I want to congratulate all the other Westchester Magazine Healthcare Heroes class of 2021. And finally, and very importantly, thank my wife Jennifer for putting up with a combination of my antics and my absence, and wish her a very happy birthday today.
Our next winner is Lori Ann Walsh, Chief Nursing Officer and Vice President of Patient Care Services, New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. Presenting the award to Ms. Walsh is Michael Facina, President of New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital.
Hi, I am Michael Facina. I'm the President of New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. I want to talk to you a little bit today about why Lori Walsh is a true healthcare hero for 2021. Lori's the Chief Nursing Officer at New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital, and if you remember, in March of 2020, Lawrence had one of the first COVID-positive patients admitted on the East Coast. It was a quick thinking of Lori to restructure and redesign the nursing care that we have had at the hospital and the care that we provided. She restructured and she was able to move her staff in a way that was putting the patient in the best possible condition to receive the best possible care at all times. Lori is certainly a leader. She is certainly a nurse's nurse. Her staff love her and they follow her. She understands what they've been through. She's been a nurse for 35 years. She started as staff nurse and she moved her way up to be a nurse executive. But she never forgot her roots, and her staff understand that. So we are proud to have Lori as a healthcare hero. We're more proud to have Lori working as our Chief Nursing Officer at New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. Congratulations, Lori.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Walsh. I am the Chief Nurse at New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. I'd like to thank Mr. Michael Facina, my COO and President of Lawrence Hospital, for this award. I also like to thank Tim Hughes, the VP of Ops, who stood with me throughout the pandemic to help me no matter what was needed or asked for. You can't do something or go through something like we did without an awesome leader, as I had with Mr. Facina, and a colleague like Tim Hughes. I also like to thank my directors of nursing, my managers, my frontline staff who gave and gave even when they were at own cost, where they were dealing with their own losses, their own illnesses, losses of family members, friends, colleagues, but they still kept coming and they still kept serving our patients and doing what was needed to make sure we took care of as many people as we could. I also like to thank Dr. Faris and Dr. Corin, our COO and CEO of New York Presbyterian Enterprise. Two amazing leaders who go above and beyond to support their team, making sure we have resources and everything we need to provide care for our patients and for each other. I also like to say thank you to my colleagues and fellow CNOs across NYP. We had to work together to manage everything. And really, I'd like to say thank you. It's an honor to receive this award, especially because I'm representing nursing not only at NYP, but across the world. And nurses came together and the world saw them as superheroes. And really the frontline staff are our superheroes. And I want to say thank you to them. We did it.
Our next healthcare hero is Adam Weissman, PhD, founding president, CEO, and chief psychologist of the Child and Family Institute and Weissman Children's Foundation. And now a few words about Mr. Weissman.
Hi, my name is Michelle Barton, and I've had an opportunity to work alongside Dr. Adam Weissman and his many contributions and visions to the fields of clinical psychology. And I cannot wait to see what he comes up with next, nor can I think of anyone more deserving of this honor. Congratulations, Adam.
As someone who has worked by your side in training psychology doctoral students at Columbia's Teachers College, I can attest to your wonderful work in teaching a new generation of therapists about evidence-based treatments. With the training programs we have jointly organized with Columbia and with our trainees at CFI, you've been instrumental in furthering the mission of providing effective care for families in need. Over the past year, CFI's training program has grown exponentially, and hundreds of families who could not have otherwise afforded care have been able to access excellent treatment. Congratulations, Adam.
I'm Christy Hoffman, Clinical Director of the Child and Family Institute's Westchester branch of the Pediatric Assessment Center, where we specialize in providing neuropsychological, psychoeducational, and autism evaluations for children and adolescents throughout the greater New York area. It's been such a pleasure to work with Adam Weissman in building this assessment center as an essential part of the work we do at CFI. Adam's talent, dedication, and drive to provide access to evidence-based treatments, in addition to clinical evaluations, to any and all children, families, and young adults are among the many reasons I am honored to call him a friend and colleague. I cannot think of anyone more deserving of being a 2021 healthcare hero. Congratulations, Adam.
Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Weissman, founding president and chief psychologist of the Child and Family Institute and the Weissman Children's Foundation. 1 year into COVID, with over 500,000 lives lost, there's hope, as more Americans are getting vaccinated every day. However, there is no vaccine for mental illness. Recent studies support what we know, that there is a hidden mental health pandemic, with surges in anxiety, depression, and suicide, disproportionately affecting children, young adults, and racial and ethnic minorities. Through our COVID relief initiative, our goal is to bring equitable, affordable, and evidence-based mental health services to every child and family in need. I am truly humbled to receive this honor, and I'd like to give a big thank you to Westchester Magazine and to all of the healthcare heroes making a difference every day, including my remarkable colleagues at the Child and Family Institute. Thank you.
Our next healthcare hero is Daryl Wheeler, PhD, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at Iona College. And now, a message from some of the staff and students of Iona.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler. You're our healthcare hero.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Dr. Wheeler.
Daryl, on behalf of the entire Iona College community, congratulations on the Healthcare Heroes Award. It is truly well deserved. You led the community with incredible discipline and insight through difficult times. Well deserved. Congratulations, Daryl.
Getting through COVID wasn't always fun. We were tested and tested again, but it worked.
We thank you for keeping us healthy and safe all across campus.
Thank you for keeping us healthy and safe in the classroom.
Thank you for keeping us healthy in the res halls.
Thanks for keeping us safe.
On the court. In the pool. On the stage.
In the labs.
Daryl, we know you always say there's no I in team,
but we're so grateful for you for all that you've done to keep our campus safe.
Congratulations and enjoy the recognition.
Woo! Thank you, Dr. Wheeler. Thank you, Dr. Wheeler. Go Gales.
Hello, I'm Daryl Wheeler, and I'm the provost at Iona College in New Rochelle. It is such an honor to be nominated with my colleagues here as a healthcare hero, and such a phenomenal honor to have been selected. I want to thank those who nominated me, but I also want to thank the men and women and our students inclusive at Iona College for all they do each and every day. When the COVID pandemic hit last year, it's hard to imagine, we had to act fast, we had to act smart. Our teams worked around the clock to create a safe, engaging environment to advance the educational mission of the college. Boy, now we're at a point where we can start to see the future. The tide is turning on the COVID pandemic, and I'm proud to say that because of the hard work of our community, we've created and innovated new programs, our classroom space, we've launched a nursing program, we're venturing into much more healthcare service delivery education to provide the resources necessary to train the future generation of future healthcare heroes, our health force delivery team. I want to say again, thank you for honoring me, but more importantly, thank you for recognizing the hard work of Iona College and its community.
Now I am proud to introduce our first ever Editors Awards. The first of which is the Healthcare Heroes Editors Award for Outstanding Community Service, which is being presented this year to Lori Fulham, RN, Clinical Nurse Manager at St. John's Riverside Hospital, for the indefatigable dedication and selflessness shown to her staff and patients throughout the pandemic and the inspirational effect it had on both. Presenting the award to Lori is Tara Curtin-Paloka, Vice President and Chief Nursing Officer at St. John's Riverside Hospital.
What can I tell you about Lori Fulham? Lori graduated the Cochran School of Nursing in 1987 and has remained a loyal St. John's employee ever since. Lori advocates for her patients and her staff with a smile every single day. Lori deserves this award for so many reasons. As a nurse manager in surgical services, Lori's daily routine is to manage her team and help them through the daily operative cases that we have here in the hospital. During the height of the COVID pandemic, things changed. Without hesitation, Lori put on her PPE and worked alongside with her staff. She made sure that she was there for the day shift, the night shift, the weekend shift. She also made sure to cover any emergency surgical cases that would be needed that were not related to COVID. Lori suddenly needed to become a mentor, a mother, a father, a sibling to all of her staff. Her staff suddenly had to step outside of their normal role as nurses, as support staff in the operating room, and become intensive care unit nurses. Lori used her strength and leadership skills when they were needed the most. As the nurse leader, I noticed. St. John's administration noticed. Her team noticed. Lori, on the other hand, acted like it was just another ordinary day. That's how amazing she is. Her support, her compassion, and her experience shine through during these very tough times. It is understood that nurses try to touch and enrich the lives of their vulnerable patients. COVID took this to a whole new level. As the nurse leader, it was truly humbling watching my team go through a complete transition of their normal day. We are so grateful for Lori's leadership. One of the reasons we nominated her for this award is because she is a behind-the-scenes person. She makes it happen every day in surgical services. She made it happen during the height of the COVID pandemic when we reached our ICU census of 3 times our normal load. Lori is a quintessential healthcare hero.
Good afternoon. I am Lori Fulham. I am excited and honored to accept Westchester Magazine's 2021 Healthcare Heroes Editors Award for Outstanding Community Service. It brings me great pleasure to have my staff here today as I accept this award. As I'm sure my staff would agree, this honor is the brightest star to shine in our darkest days endured during the pandemic. But despite the scars of COVID we share, our bond and strength as a team is immeasurable. I am so proud of these ladies and the jobs they do every day. Thank you so much to Tara Curtin for nominating me for such an honor. It means the world to me. Thank you, St. John's Riverside Hospital, for being my second family for the last 34 years. And thank you, Westchester Magazine, for this prestigious honor. Also, congratulations, Dr. Rabati and my fellow 2021 Healthcare Heroes.
Our next and final presentation is the inaugural Healthcare Heroes Institutional Award for Excellence, which is being given to the Million Gallons Challenge, a coalition of restaurant and hospitality workers who united to mitigate food insecurity among those industry workers who had lost their jobs due to the coronavirus. Accepting the award are its founders, Eric Korn, Louis Lanza, and John Van Decker.
Last year when we started hearing about COVID and no one really knew what it was, we picked up quickly that this was going to be something serious, something potentially really bad. We realized that restaurants needed to close and that in restaurants closing, there were going to be a lot of people, a lot of us out of work, and that there was going to be a lot of food that could potentially go to waste. I called John and we just talked about how serious this could potentially be. And within a few hours had a plan that we were going to start making soup and feeding people as quickly as possible.
The impact in the community was pretty incredible. I really realized what was going on when a local business who had 600 employees closed down. It really showed us that we had to do work fast, efficiently, and provide food immediately.
I got involved with Million Gallons because Eric Korn was in my ear about the seriousness of COVID before it really got to the United States. Eric was definitely one of the people who had an idea of how serious this was going to be before most of us did.
I got involved in a Million Gallon Challenge by speaking with Eric and John and seeing that they had a need to help those who could not help themselves during this time. And we had the facility, and I was able to make a sizable donation from the Lanza Family Foundation to get the thing started, and from there we did our own fundraising. It was a great collaboration from 3 entrepreneurs in the hospitality industry.
So we came to the idea of soup from different angles. One, it could be made with lots of different ingredients. So we knew restaurants had different things on hand and anybody can make soup with that. On the second hand, soup is this warming, healing food. And in a time where there's a pandemic and people are sick, soup is something that made people feel better. The other thing about soup that was really important to us is that it was easy to store. We could also freeze the soup and boil it. At that time, we didn't know how COVID spread, and making sure it was boiled was very important because it's safe.
I usually get to work in a support capacity, and this is just another chance to do that. I was very pleased to mobilize my team in Enormous Creative. Right when everything was shutting down, it gave us something to do. It gave us a way to contribute and try and make a difference. We've been working in hospitality for years, so we have a pretty wide network of people. When we got Million Gallons started, it was a pleasure to reach out to those people and help bring them into the cause and help them funnel their energy into a positive outcome.
Well, once we got activated, we were able to get donations from places like Feeding Westchester, and then we were able to use the restaurants who were willing to participate and pay them to make soup for us. It became a viral effect of good deeds in this community.
As we got going, we started with these food drives. It was a little scary to see all the cars pulling up with everybody looking for food, and a lot of them people that we knew from other restaurants or had worked with. As time went on, we started making deliveries to food pantries and shelters in large quantities, and it's still shocking the amount of food that in a place like Westchester is really needed and still needed today.
It was really surprising how quickly Million Gallons grew. We activated dozens of restaurants, hundreds of people were involved in cooking food, in helping to distribute food, and helping to fundraise. The network was pretty impressive. We had chefs here from the New York Yankees, from dozens of restaurants around Westchester, and even further afield into New York City and into Connecticut and elsewhere in the country. It was really impressive. When you see a positive change happening, people want to be part of that. It was really great to watch that happen.
In Westchester, there's this great community of chefs. Being able to make a quick phone call to a few of them and all of a sudden have this team of chefs all working together, pulling in the same direction was something that was really amazing.
Factoria has become a place in Westchester where they come for weddings, dinner, arcades, and it's a great feeling to come in here. In this case, We had people driving in here looking for food. It wasn't about making money, it was about serving the community, serving the public, and doing the right thing. That's all.
Of course, being recognized by Westchester Magazine is really an honor, but the honor isn't for the three of us. This is something that we're accepting on behalf of the hospitality and restaurant industry in general. Watching everybody step up here, all the people that were part of 1 Million Gallons, it was really rewarding, and we accept this honor on behalf of all of them.
1 Million Gallons might have been a collaboration that started right here, but it spread like wildfire around Westchester County and throughout the country. We have to share this with all the folks who stepped up and took care of business when times were tough. This industry has survivors, leaders, and it's a great feeling to be involved in it.
1 Million Gallons and putting this together with these guys is one of the most rewarding, gratifying experiences in my life. Feeding people and helping bring food to the community is something that I will continue to do throughout my career.
And those, ladies and gentlemen, are our 2021 Healthcare Heroes. Congratulations to one and all. You know, there are so many people and institutions connected to this event who deserve recognition, and I'd like to begin with our generous sponsors. Thank you to our platinum sponsor, United Hebrew of New Rochelle. Our gold sponsor, New York Presbyterian Lawrence Hospital. To our silver sponsors, Boston Children's Health Physicians and White Plains Hospital. And to our bronze sponsor, WestMed Medical Group. Please be sure to visit their virtual booths by clicking on the Expo button or visiting our website. Thanks once again to our judges and to our honorable guest speaker, County Executive George Latimer, and to all of the individuals who took the time to put together these videos, along with Enormous Creative and Stefan Radke for their video recording and production services. Thanks also to our marketing director, Jennifer D'Ambrosio, who is the real wizard behind the curtain of Healthcare Heroes. Thanks to everyone who attended today. And by the way, a recording of today's event will be on our website and Facebook pages for whoever would like to rewatch it or share with family, friends, and colleagues. Be safe, everyone. See you next year in person.